live.
Welcome here to Kansas Speedway. Tonight we have the Undisputed Cup Series, race number 12 of the season. And tonight we have the penultimate race of the regular season and also our final Dash or Cash race of the season. Tonight we have the Maddox Graphics 240 here from Kansas, 160 laps later tonight. But first up, qualifying. These drivers have 5 minutes and 2 laps to set, 2 laps or 5 minutes to set their fastest lap. And we'll see who can put it on the pole for tonight's race.
Yeah, this track position can be pretty important here in Kansas. Usually a top lane dominant racetrack for the most part, but we'll see if the middle lane works, bottom works throughout the run, throughout the race once these tires start to wear out.
We'll see how that works out, but so far, qualifying just getting underway. Kyle Klink rolling out on the apron for now. He was the fastest in practice with a 29.704. Second was Rusty Rafferty with a 29.810. So Kyle Klink fastest on by a 10th in practice. We'll see if he can put back that up here in qualifying. So far down the back straightaway, getting set up for lap number 1.
As here comes his first time lap for that 31 machine.
Down into turn number 1, Kyle Klink up the racetrack. He's getting the wall a little bit, just a little overdrive, but he'll back it down, take a minute, and run it again here for lap number 2. Lap 2, turn faster anyways. We'll see down into turn number 3 and 4. Gonna go a little bit lower, gonna go under that seam. Interesting line, gonna get a late apex for the corner. We'll see what he does here on lap number 2. Just stay on the racetrack to start his lap. Down in the turn 1, gonna put it right up against that outside wall, as close as he can. Off of turn number 2, Klink down the back straightaway. And I just rode that seam there through both his laps there, but down to the turn number 3, Kyle Klink on the using the bottom here in 3 and 4. See how well it is. Off of turn number 4, Klink to the line. Is it gonna be enough to take the top spot away from Dustin Stallings? It'll be a 30.155. No, it won't. Really slow lap compared to his practice lap. 4/10 off the pace there. So really bad qualifying lap for Kyle Klink. Did not want that. Did not want that lap. But so far, Kyle Schmidt's on the top of the board. He only did 1 lap there. He's looking to take the points lead tonight away from Cody Dorsey. 5 points behind entering tonight.
Yeah, he's not even going to attempt a second lap there, and he's good for that one. A couple more drivers that have not set the lap. Derek Riley coming off of turn 4. 30.1 for him.
So he does on lap number 2 here, down in the turn number 1 and 2. Gonna run the middle of the racetrack. And it looks like he's gonna get a little bit tight. Gonna slide up the racetrack here off 2. Not the fastest way around. We'll see how much speed he was able to keep down there. It looked like he just had to scrub off a lot of speed, just not to plow into the outside wall. Down on 3 and 4, gets it right on that white line. Looks like a pretty good line there through 3 and 4. Gonna put it right up against the wall, dive it all the way down to the apron. Derek Riley to the line. It will be 30.191. It'll be slower than lap number 1.
Right now in 16th
Jason Bottom's in
place
3 and 4 right now. On that seam off of turn 4, we'll see.
Oh,
But he
tagged
gets
the
the
wall.
wall, just tags the wall. And that will be it for Jason Bottom's lap. 30.395 will be his qualifying lap. Brandon Newton now on his final lap off of turn number 2. Practice, he ran a 30.202. We'll see if he can pick up on that practice time. Down to the 3 and 4, going to stay under the seam, going to try and get a low run. Cross the line, Brandon Newton with a 30.232. They'll put him P19, and that will be everyone setting a qualifying lap there. So everyone has completed qualifying, so that would put Kyle Schmidt's on the pole for tonight's race.
Yep, as with 45 seconds or so left. Not official, but pretty much is official though, since everyone did this lap time. But time is winding down.
And now these drivers have a moment to kind of relax for a second, just get ready, get in the zone for tonight's race. as Kyle Schmidt is going to be our pole sitter for tonight. Looking to take that pole away from looking to take that point away from Cody Dorsey. Tonight, only 5 points behind. Kyle Schmidt does have a win, won in Indy a few weeks ago, actually a little bit ago, earlier in the season. Cody Dorsey has 2 wins. He won back-to-back to 2 races in the first 3, and has yet to get back to victory lane. So Cody Dorsey, solid qualifying tonight. He'll start 3rd. Looking like he's going to be looking for victory lane in that 3rd race win this season. As only 2 drivers have 2 wins. That'd be Cody Dorsey and Cameron Craighead. We'll see how that works out. But Cody Dorsey lining up all these drivers to get on the grid now. As Kyle Schmidt's on the grid, on the pole, and Cody Dorsey does take it off the grid for a second, but he does have that Smackin' Sunflower Seeds machine, brand new sponsor for the Undisputed Cup Series. Make sure to use their code, but we don't have good to put the link in the YouTube chat, but it should be there next week. But should use their code and their link to support the Undisputed Cup Series when purchasing Smackin' Sunflower Seeds, and also do the same when purchasing your tickets from StubHub. Use their affiliate link to support the Undisputed Cup Series, buying your tickets from StubHub. I was going to shout out all the other sponsors here as support the Undisputed Cup Series: Quantum Bearings, Burlington Cafe, KK Woodscapes. All the sponsors of the Undisputed Cup Series. Now these drivers getting on the grid as we're only about 30 seconds away from rolling off. So let's take a look at our starting lineup for tonight's race, for tonight's Maddox Graphics 240. As Kyle Schmidt's on the pole with a 29.725, and Dustin Stallings alongside him, and that 00 machine. This will line up 3rd, and Eric Garrison will line up 4th in that 50 machine. James Taylor will line up 5th, and Rusty Rafferty will start 6th. Starting 7th will be the 21 of Zachary Maddox, and then Evan Patinko will start 8th. Brendan Maddox will start 9th. Terry Conaway will start 10th. Jimmy Gordon will start 11th. David Mayberry will start 12th. 13th will be Dan Barone. 14th will be Dakota Live. 15th will be Gregory Vatternay. And 16th will be the 17th of Derek Riley. Kyle Klink, not to qualify, he won it. He's going to work his way through the field. He'll start 17th tonight in that 31 machine. Alex Boncho will start alongside him at the 18th spot. 19th will be Brandon Newton in the 3 machine. Cole Lewis will start 20th. 21st will be David Wells. Jason Bottoms will start 22nd. Starting 23rd tonight will be Scott Kerber. And running at the field, the drivers in the session will be Keith Long in 24th. And 25th will be Brian Sandrith. Has yet to connect to the session, so we'll see if he joins in a little bit later.
The driver's getting ready to go green here. Kyle Schmitz will lead us to the green flag once this pace car pulls off the pit lane. 160 laps in total.
One thing to note, Brendan Maddox serving a UL penalty from, I believe, an incident last race, so he will start towards the back end of the field. So the inside lane will move up 1 row from 9th on back. Pace car is off into the unsponsored restart zone. Green flags in the air. We're on the way here from Kansas.
As through 1 and 2 to go.
Top 4 single file. First driver side by side, Eric Garrison on the outside lane there. Side by side at 35 of James Taylor. He'll slide in line off of turn 4. Maybe 3 wide for that 6th place spot almost. Back to double file between Zachary Maddox and Rusty Rafferty. Max on the bottom, Rafferty up the racetrack, out in the wall a little bit, off a turn in the middle of 1 and 2. But now Cody Dorsey looking for a move off of turn number 2, down to the inside for that 2nd place spot on Dustin Stallings.
A side by side through 3.
Oh, it's going sideways. Cody Dorsey, big loose on the apron, getting into turn 3. They maybe clipped the apron a little bit, got really loose. He's going to lose a lot of time there. Going to fall all the way back behind Kyle Klink. His big mistake there for Cody Dorsey. Just has to regain his composure there and just get back into it. That separated the top 3 from the rest of the field, as now James Taylor looks to the inside of Dustin Stallings for that second place spot. Taylor will clear down to the 3. But now everyone else is going to try and work together. I see a lot of these drivers really struggling with the dirty air, really struggling, getting tight, getting into the wall. We've saw at least 3 or 4 cars hit the wall already this race here early on.
Yeah, it seems
top
like
5 or 6 single file, but it's a Hornets from the back.
Dorsey, way on the apron there.
Let's go to Dorsey.
Oh, it's gonna be okay. Still losing it there. Keep it shape for now, though.
It's pretty much a harness as to the pretty much entire mid-pack of the middle of the field. As first drivers side by side right now between Alex Bonsignor and Jimmy Gordon. Is Jimmy Gordon falling back a little bit?
Oh, some contact.
A little bit of contact there with Brendan Maddox. As Brendan Maddox trying to work his way up the 20 of Gordon up into the wall. As a lot of these drivers struggling to pass and struggling with the dirty air. I think that's what we're kind of seeing here. A lot of these drivers really struggling with the handling of the race cars right now, early in this one. Up the racetrack goes the 89 Kerry Conaway as Alex Bonsignor find his way through. Brendan Max goes around the outside of Conaway down to the 1.
As chaos throughout the whole field pretty much, especially mid-pack. Too wide through most of the field, though. Jimmy Gordy is still trying on the outside line there. Down the wall in 1 and 2 lap before.
There's the outside for Brandon Newton. Goes side by side with Kerry Conaway, Jimmy Gordon, sorry. Now down the front straightaway into turn number 1. The pull alongside. Conaway, Gordon trying to slide up in front of Newton. Not going to be able to do it. Newton with the run of the high lane, able to make it work. Side by side in front of them between Kerry Conaway and Gregory Vadnais. Vadnais's on the bottom, going to slide up.
Contact!
Slide up the racetrack. Contact behind! Newton goes sliding through the off of 4. He'll spin back up the racetrack. That'll be a caution. Everyone's going to avoid him.
I think that was some massive net code there. It looked like they didn't even make contact on my screen. Take a replay of that one in a moment. As luckily...
Brandon Newton trying to get it back going. He'll turn it down. Down to turn 3 and 4 here. Let's see what happened. It's a 20 up the racetrack of the apron. A big net code there. Really unfortunate there for those 2 drivers.
Doesn't look like anyone hit the outside wall or anything too majorly damaged there. Just those Goodyear tires look pretty damaged, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, I believe David Mayberry getting a tag of the wall. He's got to lock it up. He's honestly probably the worst damage out of that. As everyone, the other 2 making contact, well, net code contact between Gordon and Newton. Those two did not get damaged from that. David Mayberry getting a little bit of damage. Actually, it did pop back open, so a little bit of net code damage there as well. But I think he's got the most damage from that, got into the wall. But you're 10 laps into this one, early caution to shake up a little bit of strategy, possibly. As last week we did have 165 laps at Las Vegas, so you have 160 here tonight. Similar fuel windows. Similar fuel windows, probably going to be about 40 laps. So I think it'll probably be an easy 3-stop, no matter what. But we could see a few drivers maybe come and take a tire set, as they do have 5 extras.
Looks like some of those drivers will do exactly that. Eric Garrison down pit lane, and pretty much half the field coming down pit lane, half the field staying out.
I think Eric Garrison really pretty much the only one coming down pit road there. And obviously you have a few others getting damage repair. Cody Dorsey, David Mayberry. It's about 5 or 6 into pit road. So these drivers are trying to get some early early advantage with this tires, but they don't want to. Hoping it goes green a little bit. They don't want to keep getting too many cautions and running out of tire sets by the end of it.
Yeah, definitely not something you want to have happened early on in your race, running out of tire sets. You get 5 extra, which should be plenty of tire sets for 160 laps because you get 6 total. So obviously, if you use some math, that's probably around 25 or so, give or take. But 25 laps per tire set. So I mean, it should be enough here if you want pit. Could be a little risky, maybe a little early, but I mean, if you want some sort of advantage here tire-wise, I mean, it's not a bad call, but I just don't know how big of a tire advantage that really will be after we only ran 9 laps green.
Especially, we'll see how that plays out. Especially, I think, kind of with the new updates came back earlier in June here on the service, and dirty air has been a bigger factor. Tire definitely has the percentages of the tire definitely has worn a lot more, but the fall off kind of a little bit more realistic. They don't fall off too much after a while. You'll definitely see kind of, if we get a lot of heat cycles and we get a bigger run, you'll definitely see the difference of the tires, but dirty air can definitely be a big factor trying to pass somebody. So we'll see if those drivers on the new tires, if they can work their way up through the field. We'll see how that works out for some of those drivers, but Jason Miles being one of those. So they just start back in 22nd. Keith Long back in 19. But Eric Harrison was one of the drivers who did pit. He came out on 14th on pit road there, so he'll line out 14th. We'll see how quick he can make his way up through the field.
Yeah, we'll see how quickly he can. Some of those drivers also taking fuel only as well, so I'm gonna mix the strategy here, and we'll see how it plays out. Though still very early on in this race, come back green here on lap 13.
Yeah, here we go. Pace car is off into the unsponsored restart zone here at Kansas. Green flag back in the air. Schmitz on the loud pedal, easily clear. Great restart for the 19 machine. As the inside lane with a much better restart. Dustin Stallings, he's going to clear up in front of James Taylor into turn number 1. But Stallings is clear now, but Schmitz clear by a couple of car lengths. But through 1 and 2, Stallings able to close that gap just a little bit. But wreck already.
Brandon Newton right there.
Brandon Newton goes around again. And he toes to the pit road there, so let's see what happened. Big stack up here behind that 20 machine to Jimmy Gordon.
Just ran to the back of...
Just a big stack up there. Jason Bottoms gets to the back of the 3, and Brandon Newton spins it around, and he will park it for the night. He's done. He's left the session, so it looked like too badly damaged. I don't know why, but
he might have just took a set of tires and spin out there. It's gonna kill his tires even more. And I mean, right there, you got a pretty good look in the right front. So, but yeah. Anyways,
one other driver there getting involved. I believe it was the 25. They could have Bly getting a tag to that, getting to the outside. Well, actually, no, it was not. They could have Bly. It was Brian Sandrith getting a tag of that, and actually he broke his right front tire. He had to get into the outside wall trying to avoid Brandon Newton. So he's going to have to take his fast repair. Sandrith not getting a on time start. He's already 9 laps down. He's already had to take his fast repair.
Yeah, which is unfortunate
because he could not get a lap back there.
He would have been in lucky dog position as well. Get one of those laps back at least.
So now he's just going to try and pick up a few points. I guess is 9 laps down, but has a lot more to go. But so far under the caution, Jason Bottoms, he will take the cause of that, so he will go to the EOL. But now it's time to talk about our Dash Your Cash drivers for tonight. Our final Dash Your Cash of the season. The top of 4 drivers, best of the 4 drivers selected get a $10 prize. So tonight's 4 drivers are Gregory Badinay, David Wells, Jimmy Gordon, and James Taylor are the 4 Dash Your Cash drivers tonight. As Badinay is sitting currently in P11, but James Taylor is currently the best out of those drivers, sitting in 4th. Jimmy Gordon sitting back in 17th. And David Wells not here. Actually, no, it is here tonight in 15th. So Jimmy Gordon had tail end of that dash cash shield. David Wells sitting in 15th. Jerry Radney finishing is sitting in 11th right now, but James Taylor in front for that dash for cash prize and 4th right now. Those few drivers. But now the pace car, he'll double back, the lights off on the pace car, the field will double back up. We'll get ready to go racing again here. A few cautions to start this one, as you did have that first 10-lap run, but a quick caution brings up another one. So we'll see if these drivers can kind of get settled back in and get a longer run in here to get further into this race. But still early on, kind of getting that getting the jitters out of the way. Some of these drivers just trying to settle back in to a rhythm.
Yeah, that's the main thing. They haven't really got a long green flag run yet. 9 laps has been the longest. And really, those 9 laps, a lot of the drivers are fighting as hard as they can to get to the front. So, haven't really got into rhythm quite just yet. Some of these front drivers maybe kind of were starting to get into rhythm before the first caution came out. But we'll see what happens here as we've had back-to-back pretty quick cautions so far.
We'll see how these drivers can adapt to this run if we kind of get settled in now. But so far, it's been Kyle Schmitz up front the whole night so far here. This time by will complete lap number 16 here from Kansas. Green flag up back in the air. We're backing away. And Kyle Schmitz off to a good restart again, but Stallings on the outside. Much better restart compared to the last time on the outside lane. And side by side for second into turn number 1. Patenko on the bottom. Stallings trying to hold that outside lane side by side for now. But the outside lane not getting a great restart, kind of like last time, but a much better one. Side by side for second still between Stallings and Patenko. Stallings going to try and go around the outside here. He's going to cut down in front of Patenko through the middle of 3 and 4. And now Patenko getting under attack here from the 21 of Zachary Maddox. As Maddox gets to the outside. Just barely there, trying to get to the outside and make a pass into turn number 1, but longer distance around the outside did not allow him there to get to the outside, and James Taylor down to the bottom. Will try and clear up in front of Maddox, but now Stallings hitting the wall in the middle of the 1 and 2, and that's going to cause calamity behind him. They're 3 wide just behind him. They're going to sit at 4 wide of the turn number 3. The 33 Dan Barun, he'll back out of it there last second and not go 4 wide there.
That could have been a disaster there into turn 3, but they keep it 2 wide for now. Down the front straight into the turn 1. Still 2 wide for most of the field. But first place, Kyle Schmitz likes what he sees in his mirror right now.
Side by side currently for second between Patenko and Zachary Maddox on the bottom. Off of turn number 4, they will complete. Maddox will fall behind Patenko. And Dan Barone right behind Rusty Rafferty. Now he's getting sent by Brendan Maddox down on the inside. Brendan Maddox still trying to work his way up from his EOL penalty to start the race tonight. He'll clear up in front of Barone off of turn 4. They're side by side still as now Evan Patenko go to the inside for the race lead.
Side by side for the race lead. Kim Patenko clearing the turn 1. Not quite. Schmitz with the run on the outside. They clear off for turn 2, but here comes Zachary Maddox as well to the outside in that 21 machine.
Maddox on the outside, Patenko on the bottom. Here comes Dustin Stallings trying to find his way by from his mistake a few laps ago. Rusty Rafferty, he's going to get really sideways off of turn 4. He's going to overcorrect back up into Kyle Klink. He'll collect Kyle Klink, and they'll both go around. We have one driver flying into the wreck there. And that will be our 3rd caution as Derek Riley, hard incident there into the outside wall. That will end his right front. Don't know if he took his fast repair already. That could possibly end his night if he has.
He has not yet. None of those drivers have, so they can continue, but major damage to those 3 drivers.
Sandro's getting involved in that as well. A post wreck. He was wrecked into turn number 1. A huge hit for Kyle Klink as he had nowhere to go. Derek Riley flies in there. Brian Sandra, I think, just lost on the apron by himself after that wreck happened. Let's take a look what happened to Derek Riley. Oh, just got on the apron, just lost it.
Wow.
I think he got on the brakes, and once he went to the apron, the car just snapped on him. Actually, typically has that tendency. Yeah, just that's what happened. Just snapped right into the wreck. Fortunate for Derek Riley there, but Brian Sandra also spun into turn 1. Could have been the lucky dog once again, but it spun into turn 1 there.
Yeah, after he was getting loose on turn 4,
he'll lose it.
Wow.
He'll collect Kyle Klink, but Brian Sandra,
he clipped the grass. It looks like
secondary incident here.
Looks like he just clipped the grass trying to avoid the wreck and lost his momentum.
Brian Sanders once again losing out on that free pass position with that incident. So he'll come down pit road and try and fix any damage he may have got. Maybe take some tires, top it off on fuel. But Evan Pazinko, he was out in front of the lead there over Kyle Schmitz. So Kyle Schmitz came down pit road. So Kyle Schmitz taking 4 tires early on for now. So kind of a much mix of strategies here, as we saw half the field pit on that first caution for 10 laps, and now Kyle Schmitz, the only driver who didn't pit to pit this caution. So now we have 3 different strategies. We have Kyle Schmitz, about half the field's on the strategy pitting on lap number 10, and everyone else has not pit yet so far. So kind of a entirely mixed of strategies here.
Yeah, I think maybe Kyle Schmitz is thinking we might get a long run here. We've had 3 cautions within the first 20 laps of this race. There's maybe thinking we might get a long run here. You know, people might be calming down a little bit as the race goes on, and he might be in prime position. He's gonna be restarting here in 15th place with 4 fresh tires. So he's got some sort of advantage, about 20 or so laps, only around probably like 14, 15 green flag laps of those ones. But I mean, that is a pretty big advantage here, a mile and a half like Kansas.
I don't really know why it'll come down. I mean, the interesting strategy call, because no one else who has pitted for tires back on lap 10, they haven't even broken into the top 10. The first driver on those is Keith Long, as he's sitting in 11th. So no one else has broken into the top 10. Oh, Keith Long only did take fuel only, but Jason Bottoms on the first on fresh tires.
Yeah, Jason Bottoms is,
but he had some damage to fix as well, so
it could be a factor. I mean,
small for about 30 seconds.
Dirty air seems pretty bad here tonight, so could definitely be a factor when restarting in the middle of the field.
Kyle Schmitz, I probably would have just stayed up front. You only were in second, so we'll see how that plays out for Kyle Schmitz, because now he's going to be in the Hornets test on this restart. But green flag, back in the air, Patenko on the loud pedal. He'll easily clears the inside lane with a much better restart. Stallings and Patenko clear before they even get into turn number 1. As now the top 4 clear, but that Brendan Maddox moves to the inside lane. He's worked his way up all the way from the back. Now he's trying to break into the top 3, side by side with his brother Zachary on the outside lane. The Maddox brothers side by side down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Brendan will go to the bottom. Zachary holds the outside lane as Brendan will clear his brother in through the middle of 3 and 4. And now the top 4 now single file, but now Zachary Maddox tries to fight back to the bottom. But side by side for the lead now. It's Dylan Stallings looks to the outside into turn number 1.
At the peak there, didn't have enough momentum into turn 1. Is now, like I mentioned before in the beginning of the show, the top side definitely knows dominant lane here at Kansas. But I think the bottom can play a factor once these tires start to wear out, as Dustin Stallings is kind of blocking on the bottom lane right now.
Yeah, trying to rock the bottom lane, maybe save a little bit of tires with Brendan Maddox who are around the outside. Side by side off turn number 4, down the front straightaway. Brendan Maddox gonna try and get clear of Stallings. Zachary Maddox right behind Dustin Stallings. It still hops to the outside behind Brendan Maddox. But Brendan Maddox way up the racetrack. He's gonna get in the wall.
He's gonna be stuck for a second. This is gonna be 3 wide. No, not quite. That's all wrecking in the back. 95 around. There's no YOLO yet. That's gonna stay green. That's Jason Bottoms there. As we stay green, we'll take a quick look at what happened there. Everyone avoiding the wreck pretty nicely. As just got tagged there, maybe a little bit of netcode from the 19 machine.
Yeah, got a little bit of contact with Kyle Schmitz. He through the middle of the field. Everyone had a scatter for that one.
There's a one on the wall once more. Dustin Stallings struggling on those old tires. As Kyle Schmitz not doing a great job here right now as well.
3 wide there on 4 though with Dustin Stallings now off the turn 4. It's gonna be contact! Stallings gonna get a little bit sideways. He's gonna get to the wall to save him. But Bonsior was side by side with him there with 33 and Dan Barone. With Zachary Maddox on the 21. They all made a little bit of contact there off turn 4. Stallings will slide back behind him. Just lost the 2 spots. But now he's under attack from Dan Barone in the 35 of James Taylor. They'll shut the door on the 33 of Barone. Barone will get tight with the dirty air slide up the racetrack, but stalling is starting to struggle a little bit now as these tires are not looking so good. Two drivers right up against the wall there. You saw one driver way up against the wall, perfectly ripped the wall, kind of like it was Kyle Larson. It was the 52 of Cole Lewis, so 1 and 2, almost got on the outside wall, kept it going. But Kyle Schmidt's first driver on tires as he's worked his way up back to 8. So we'll see how well those fresher tires work for him. Still very early on to this one as these drivers still not really settled in, as we see a lot of the drivers going side by side trying to work their way through. It's now Dustin Stallings works to the outside once again of Alex Bonjour for that 4th place spot. Side by side through 3 and 4. Bonjour a little bit tags the white line just a little bit. Go up the racetrack, but James Taylor to the wall. Kyle Schmitz goes around through the grass.
He's got to keep it straight though. No caution out. That's going to lose a ton of time on those fresh tires. And honestly, looking back right now, he's probably regretting making that decision.
Kyle Schmitz just in that middle of the pack. That's what I was worried about with Kyle Schmitz pitting there. And got inadvertently tagged in that one, and he went through the grass, and there goes all his time. He's going to have to hope for a caution. There's no way he gains all that time back. But James Taylor got on the wall. As James Taylor, he's behind Dan Barone in that 6th place spot right now. As Barone gets up to the outside wall, though, right as James Taylor right behind him, almost falls under the wall. They stay side by side, but still up in front of him. Dustin Stallings now finally clears Alex Bonjour for that 4th place spot. Top 3 pulled away from those drivers. As top 3 kind of separated a little bit. Side by side between Cole Lewis and James Taylor for that 6th place spot is now Cole Lewis. 7th place spot was Lewis will still hold that spot. He'll slide up in front of James Taylor. A little bit of rally behind Kyle Clink, trying to work his way up, getting involved in that last incident. As he had to take his fast pair now down into turn number 3. He's driving into the 3, trying to slide up in front of Keith Long. This is a good move there for Kyle Clink as he will clear Keith Long for that position. He'll jump up to that 9th place spot. The big single file through the field. Now we're starting to see these drivers settle in here early into this one.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Schmitz was pretty right on his call there as a green flag ground, but unfortunately he was kind of involved in the incident there, going through the grass. Now he's down to 22nd place. Have to work his way through the field right now, but mostly single file spread out for now as they kind of enter a run of their own here in the past 10 laps or so.
Up down into turn number 1. Some of these drivers really ripping the wall, getting into the wall, but kind of just bouncing it. Definitely going to hurt them a little bit. But right now, Dustin Stallings trying to hold off Zachary Maddox. Now he drives away from Zachary Maddox. So he's trying to drive back up to the top 3 where he was. So now he is in the top 3, but now he's going to try and chase down the top 2 between Brendan Maddox and Evan Pacinko. As Zachary Maddox struggle a little bit now, starting to fall back just a tad bit from the top 3.
Yeah, as now you kind of just see all these different lines forming up now once these tires are starting to get a little older. Most drivers like in the outside lane, like you mentioned, but some still sticking to the bottom lane. We'll see how those tires last and how good they are. As here come the Matinko to the bottom of the lane right there, not ripping the outside wall through 3 and 4.
Yeah, and he actually gains a little bit more time there with Brendan Maddox. Brendan Maddox had to avoid the lap car as Matinko went to the apron. That's Jason Bottoms to go in a lap down, but now Alex Bonjour looking to the inside of Zachary Maddox for that 4th place spot. As Bonjour will easily make that move into turn 1 and 2, as Maddox really struggling with that tire wear. I think he's really getting tight now. Now he's right behind Alex Bonjour. That's going to hurt him even more. Bonjour tagging the apron just a little bit, gets him a little wobbly, as this allows Maddox to close the gap in. Maddox holds straddles the white line there. Not the best thing to do, but he holds on to it as Dan Barone tries to find his way by Cole Lewis. As here comes the field trying to find everyone trying to find their way by as they're all kind of closing up together, but the dirty air kind of separates them back out through the corner.
Yeah, I kind of just see that dirty air effect as it's kind of spraying out these cars as well. They also dropped up to each other pretty nice on the straightaways, but right now, mostly single file, but side by side right there, Kyle Clink and Cole Lewis there for a 7th place spot.
That's Clink trying to work back up through the field as he got in that incident a caution or two ago. Unfortunately, just being caught up with Rusty Rafferty. And now he had to take his fast fare. He was completely destroyed. Now he's trying to work his way back up. He had the speed in practice. Didn't get the qualifying lap he wanted. So now he's trying to work his way through slowly but surely through this race. Still a long way to go. This time by will be 120 laps to go. So still a while left to go for some of these drivers in this race. But so plenty of time left for Kyle Clink to work his way up through the field. It's only about 3.4 seconds back from our race leaders. As we know, he is very good on the long run. We saw that at Iowa a few weeks ago. He was very fast there and lapped the whole field on speed as they went green the whole way. But Kyle Clink, we'll see how well he can work his way up, how much time he can gain on this long run, and the deeper we get into this run.
Yeah, so far we've been green around 16, 17 laps, so... And Clink also did pit that last caution, so that's definitely helping out 31 machine.
Yeah, so this is our longest run of the night by far. Our longest run was our opening run, our first 10 laps. And we've got a few cautions sprinkled in between there, but now these drivers getting settled in for this long run here. Perot will go to the bottom as Clink will hold the racetrack to stay on the track. This run will go to the apron, but now off of turn number 2, Kyle Clink and Perot getting at the wall just a tad bit as we're unable to pull away from Clink by a couple car lengths there. Clink is closing that gap down a little bit. The race leader is now down to 3.2. So he is a little bit faster than the race leader currently, Evan Patinko, but Evan Patinko clean air out in front, kind of pace himself. Has an 8/10 of a second gap over Brendan Maddox. So Kyle Clink trying to find his way by Dan Barone, but just can't get there yet. Eric Garrison was one of those drivers running in that top 5. Took tires after that first caution. He's now broken back into the top 10. I think we're starting to see now if those drivers pitted on around lap 10, we'll start to see those tires starting to come into play as the longer run comes in here. Kyle Clink way up behind the outside wall. He's going to scrape the outside wall, get stuck in it. That's why Eric Garrison down to the bottom, side by side off turn 2. Kyle Clink pushing a little bit too much to the center of 1 and 2. Gets it, puts it up into the outside wall. Garrison holds to the bottom, going to pull side by side. Those two will stay side by side for the 8th place spot. That's going to slow them both down. Kyle Clink on the outside. We'll see if he drives it into deep into 1 and 2. They'll be much better there in 1 and 2, holding on that seat. But Eric Garrison really well on the bottom, still holds it alongside. They're going to stay side by side. Down the back straight into turn 3. Now you got to watch out in front of him, Dan Barone. So he's pitting on the radio. So Dan Barone right in front of him will come down pit road as Eric Garrison will have to check up and avoid him. So you got a few other drivers down pit road.
Sideways!
33, Dan Barone goes around on pit entry.
And same with Alex Bonziner. He also slid on the pit road entry, but he made it down in time though under the yellow cone. So tricky pit lane here. Probably not the hardest pit lane, but definitely still hard to get down since woe down in time.
Yeah, definitely very tough to get it well down, especially right when you cross that. When you cross the apron, the car really loves to bottom out and gets loose. As Kerry Conway also did the same thing right behind those two, but Zachary Maddox doing it again. Pit road troubles now as Gregory Madden will come down pit road. But a lot of these drivers struggling with pit entry as Kerry Conway just merging back onto the track, onto the apron. He'll spin back up into turn 1, and he's going to get hit! Kerry Conway into turn 1, he'll get hit, and get out. Evan Patinko had to go to the apron. Evan Patinko spinning as well. As Evan Patinko destroyed into turn 1.
Wow.
Chaos unfolding under green flag pit stops.
Yeah, absolutely chaotic there. Just as Evan Patinko, major damage for him. Luckily, he does still have a fast rear left, but not good for that 81 machine. So let's take a replay of that one. Patinko coming
As
through
Evan
1,
Patinko,
2.
he had to dive to the apron to avoid that. That all started with.
Oh,
That
no,
all
there's
started
two
with Terry
different wrecks.
Conaway.
There's two different wrecks there. David Wells as well.
Two different wrecks.
Was
No,
spinning.
David Wells was the one that went into Kerry Conaway, and he broke his toe. That definitely broke his toe, and he lost it off the wall.
Yeah, Conaway.
Kerry Conaway started. Kerry Conaway started with that as he missed pit road, just like Alex Bonsior and Dan Barone. He spun through the grass multiple times trying to get it back rolling. He got out of the grass, spun it back up the track. David Wells, nowhere to go. Just way too much speed. Just came right in there, broke his toe links. As Kerry Conaway spun right into this path. And then Evan Patinko had to go down to the apron, hit so much speed, way too much speed on the apron, and make contact with David Wells, and that sent him up into the outside wall. Heavy damage for both those drivers. He just came down pit road too, so he can't even get that wave around. He'll have to come down and take his fast pair. So Evan Patinko for the race lead, now trapped the lap down.
Absolutely chaotic right there. Pit road entry. Not Kansas is not a track you really expect that many pit road troubles. I mean, it's not, I guess no pit road's really too easy to get onto, but Kansas is definitely not the trickiest one, I would think. But I mean, I don't know. I guess just worn out tires trying to slow down. I mean, wow. Not something I expected going into tonight, to be honest.
Yeah, these drivers seem to be really loose. Getting onto the apron, if they kind of clip that white line, gets them very loose. But guess who cycled to the front after that one? It is the 31 of Kyle Klink, able to go longer, as though those drivers who pitted on lap number 10 were able to go much longer, and they stayed out a little bit longer, and now all those drivers will cycle out in front. Kyle Klink will be the new race leader after hitting that last caution and having to work his way through the field. Eric Garrison will cycle back up to second, but now as the field's completely jambled up now, as it's really shaken up, and it's gonna be a little bit trying to cycle back through the field, as you have a lot of wave rounds here, as up in front of them behind the iRacing pace car. It will be Dustin Stallings, Zachary Maddox, the 20 machine there, Jerry Gordon getting a wave around, Gregory Vadnais, Alex Bonsior, 35, James Taylor, and Evan Patinko all getting wave around. So actually, Evan Patinko somehow still able to get a wave around there. Kieran Havertz coming down to fix his fix his car and take a fast repair. So all those drivers will have to come down. All those drivers will get their wave around after pitting under their green flag stops.
Yeah, luckily for them, caution came out pretty much at the right time, somewhat. I mean, yeah. But as Jason Baum's black flag for him, most likely yellow. But like I mentioned, I mean, it's unfortunate for a lot of those drivers. I mean, some of them were already kind of clearly on back, and for this situation, they're going to be older tires as well, and having to start further through the field. So it's going to be tough for them to come through the field. So half the field had a green flag pit stop, half of them didn't, pretty much, and half that didn't are out in front.
Race car is off, and Kyle Klink, Eric Garrison on the front row. They'll lead into the green flag back in the air, 50 laps into this one, as we kind of now, all these drivers could probably be aggressive, trying to make up for the time they lost on pit entry now, pit road, but kind of a little, kind of a quick caution to kind of help everyone who did miss pit road entry. So that's how they get back on the lead lap. It's side by side now for second between Keith Long and Eric Garrison. Keith Long was running just around the top 10 so far tonight. He'll jump up to that top 3 after cycling through that through those pit stops, through those green flag pit stops, as Long will fall back behind Eric Garrison, but side by side between Cody Dorsey and Rusty Rafferty. Cody Dorsey starting up in third. He had the speed tonight, made a few mistakes, and that trapped him towards the back of the field. But Rusty Rafferty hard to the outside wall, he got stuck up into it a little bit. Cody Dorsey, though, really big mistake on the bottom, was really slow off the corner. He'll stop behind Rusty Rafferty as Kyle Schmidt's trying to work his way back up.
Side by side still, Rusty Rafferty and Cody Dorsey. Jimmy Keith Long, excuse me, there for that third place spot. As fast lap time just set by Kyle Klink out in front.
So far, Kyle Klink our race leader, but it's a lot of these drivers trying to work their way back up through the field now. Keith Long falling back a little bit as now he got passed by Rusty Rafferty. Kyle Schmitz working the outside lane, trying to get by that 71 machine, not close enough there. He has a good run off four. He's been diving to the apron. He is side by side with Keith Long through the trial into turn number one. He's going to maybe try to pull the slider here into one. Keith Long will stay up to the outside wall, almost gets to the outside, and Cody Dorsey follows him as well as Keith Long going to hold the outside. He'll stay side by side with Schmitz.
Not quite clear down into turn number 3 now, as here comes Schmitz. Going to do a little slide job on Long. Is he will do off the 4? Looks like he will. He clears easily off of turn number 4.
Kyle Schmitz will take that spot away as Cody Dorsey trying to find his way by now of Keith Long, as Keith Long struggling a little bit here. A lot of these drivers really driving in it deep, sliding way up the racetrack, kind of just planting up against the wall. We'll see how well Dustin Stallings, Evan Patinko, those drivers can work right through. So Evan Patinko is 1 lap down, so he did get a whip around though. He is still trapped 1 lap down for Evan Patinko. We'll see how Dustin Stallings can work his way through. Brendan Maddox, those drivers that were up front when that caution happened, well, when they pitted. We'll see how well they can work their way back through the field. As Dustin Stallings now works to the inside of that 33 of Dan Barone, as Dan Barone 1 lap down after that big pit road mistake.
Yeah, he got black flagged for pit road, most of these speeding on pit lane. Under green, and side by side for around 3rd. That's Rusty Rafferty there on the outside line. Kyle Schmitz trying to get to that 3rd place spot. Eric Garrison in 2nd. It's going to be a 3-car battle here for 2nd place right now, as Kyle Klink 2nd clear of the field.
And Kyle Schmitz trying to work his way back up to the front. He'll see if he has anything to challenge Kyle Klink out in front. But right now, Kyle Klink all in the clean air, just hoping to keep battling behind. As now Rafferty goes to the inside of Eric Garrison, down through the trial into 1. We'll see if Rafferty can clear, pull the slider into 1. Garrison can pinch him out of the racetrack a little bit. Kyle Schmitz will go all the way up against the outside wall. He'll tag the outside wall. He'll get stuck in it a little bit. That's going to cost him some time. But Rusty Rafferty, he'll clear Eric Garrison at the 2nd place spot. Now, Keith Long has a run on Kyle Schmitz into 3. He'll dive into the bottom, be alongside through the corner, but Schmitz going to cut down through the corner, get that lead run, lead apex off of turn number 4. He'll clear Keith Long for that 4th. He'll maintain that 4th place spot over Keith Long.
Let's go back here. Cole Lewis side by side with Dustin Stallings. Cole Lewis on the outside wall. Tagged barely, doesn't really affect him too much. It's good for him right now.
So far single file, but now Cody Dorsey moves to the inside of Zachary Maddox there for just a second. But he keeps it clear, but Zachary Maddox a lap down as well, got trapped in that as he had made a pit road entry mistake. So he's battling for that free pass spot with Dan Barone. Dan Barone a little bit behind though, so Zachary Maddox hoping for a quick caution to get this lap back.
Yeah, we'll see if he'll be able to. Most likely, probably will get a caution, but you'll have to stay out and try to get that lucky, or stay out and get the way around Zachary Maddox right now, currently the lucky dog position. So, pretty tough for him, especially on those older tires. But you never know what could happen when the caution flag flies, if it does fly. But right now, Rusty Rafferty trying to close down on Kyle Klink. He was a little bit quicker last time by, so Klink now gap down under a 2nd off of turn 4.
So far, the closest battle right now with Kyle Schmitz, Keith Long. Is Keith Long working the inside of Kyle Schmitz once again? As Kyle Schmitz just tagged the wall a little bit too much. We hurt that right front, running the outside, trying to get back through the field. Now, as we cross lap 62 this time by, with just under 100 laps to go. Oh, but Zachary Maddox hard on the wall off turn 4, right behind Keith Long. That's the Stallings, Cody Dorsey. Stallings will get by Cody Dorsey now. He got a really good run off turn 4. So Dustin Stallings is slowly working his way up through back through the field now as well. Rusty Rafferty's closed the gap down just a little bit to Kyle Klink. We'll see this time by. They both have the clean air. We'll see Kyle Klink this time by 30.644. Rusty Rafferty 30.628. So just a couple hundreds faster for Rusty Rafferty right now. Eric Garrison still trying to hold off Kyle Schmitz. Schmitz trying to hold off Keith Long. So far, Kyle Schmitz holding that position there in that 4th place spot. Keith Long working all over his back bumper, trying to find his way by, but can't seem to find his way around just yet.
As most of the field, mostly single file, some side-by-side action there for around 7th place Cody Dorsey. And Brendan Maddox there in that 11 machine as Maddox to clear up top. He'll take 7th place from Dorsey off turn 4. So one driver coming down pit lane. Oh, slide. Someone just slid through pit lane there. As Jason Bottoms might get a black flag there on the entry of the pit lane. He took out that yellow cone, and I think that'll be most likely be a black flag. Unsafe pit road entry for that 5 machine.
And unfortunately, this Jason Bottoms night just gets worse as now he's going to be easily more than 2 laps down, as we do have 4 cars 1 lap down, so he's going to have to hope for a lot of luck. But Rusty Rafferty, he's closing that gap down about 7/10 over Kyle Klink. So Rafferty making good time right now, as Kyle Schmitz not able to close any closer to Eric Garrison. Keith Long not able to find his way by. Zachary Maddox, he's fallen back even further as he was kind of in that middle pack. He's fallen back middle between those drivers as he's fallen a little bit farther behind Dustin Stallings. As Dustin Stallings closing the gap into Keith Long and Kyle Schmitz. We'll see how much closer he can get and see if he can make a move for the top 5. They break into the top 5 there. Dustin Stallings being one of the drivers that were running up front. Just came down pit road and got trapped a lap down.
One car spinning there, caution flag flies. And it was...
Caution back out on the racetrack, and that's going to shake up the strategy again. Trying to find out who that was.
Was entering turn 1 maybe. Yeah, right there. How long possibly there? Didn't really...
Keith Long there, yes.
Long.
So Keith Long,
contact.
Surprised that bring out a caution.
Yeah, not really.
So really sideways, right across the line. Got tagged with Dustin Stallings. That Dustin Stallings had a massive run. He bumped out of the inside of Keith Long, and then he just got spun around. And that bring out the caution. He was able to save it. Good save for Keith Long there. So we'll see the replay now. As just Keith Long gets sideways.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. Just enough to bring out the iRacing yellow.
So now it shakes up the strategy again as Rusty Rafferty, he was closing that gap down on Kyle Klink. He was making some good progress. So now it's going to reset all the gaps they had. So now Kyle Klink up to lead them all down pit road as everyone will come down pit road. We'll see if some of these lead lap cars, they'll stay on lap down cars, they'll stay on the racetrack to see if they take the wave around, as Zachary Maddox will be the free pass for that. But now down pit road. Kyle Klink, 4 tires, full tank of fuel, but Kyle Schmitz, he'll jump in front of him. Kyle Schmitz, 2-tire call there. Interesting strategy call this early into the race, but we'll see how that works out for Kyle Schmitz, as he will take the lead there. So Kyle Schmitz, 2-tire call. Cody Dorsey stays out on the racetrack. So that actually traps Evan Patinko a lap down. Interesting call there from Cody Dorsey. It's Cody Dorsey, 22 lap older tires. He'll stay out on the race lap. He will stay out on the racetrack. So Evan Patinko will have to go to the back. Maybe this is a strategy call for Cody Dorsey to keep maybe Evan Patinko a lap down.
Yeah, that would be kind of a 3D move right there. I mean, maybe Dorsey wants an extra set for later in the race. Possibly, could be.
That is true, because he is one of the drivers who pitted in that first caution. He did slip his tires a lot in that first run, so maybe he knows he has pitted 4 times. His last pit stop did take 4 tires, so maybe he knows he's running low on sets. As if he pitted 4 times and taking tires all 4 times, that means he only has 1 set left for the rest of the race.
I doubt that, but
I don't think he did that. He probably has about 2 sets.
At the least 2 sets, maybe 3. I mean, not even the halfway point. He probably want at least 2 extra sets, if not more. But he's gonna be.
And Brendan Maddox also taking 2 tires there with Kyle Schmitz. So those two, maybe I think they have less sets. They maybe want to try and save the set of left side tires for later, maybe. But Kyle Klink,
we'll see.
he'll have only 2 sets left as well, laying in the box. So pace car is off. And Cody Dorsey, Kyle Schmitz, we're going to lead him back to green. Green flag back in the air. That's Cody Dorsey with a really good jump on the outside lane as he elected to restart from the outside. They'll stay side by side for a second, but now Schmitz will clear on the 2 tires. And now it's between Kyle Klink and Brendan Maddox for that 3rd place spot. 2 tires versus 4.
Side by side, Klink will clear off of turn number 2. Max with those 2 right side tires. Gonna dive down to the inside. Does he have the momentum? And also battle for the race lead. Here comes Kyle Schmitz as well. Side by side. 2 by 2 here for the first 4 drivers.
Double file 2 deep now, side by side through the front straightaway, through the triangle into 1. Dorsey trying to hold the lead on the outside lane. Schmitz on 2 tires, trying to go around to the bottom. Klink has to avoid Cody Dorsey as Dorsey got to the wall through 1 and 2, but that leaves them side by side for the drivers on 2 tires. Kyle Schmitz, Brendan Maddox down to the 3. They still side by side for the lead.
Still side by side through 4 as Maddox looking to clear. Yes, he will. Maddox, Schmitz, 2 right side tires only, as here comes Kyle Klink as well, lurking in the distance in 3rd.
Klink on the first driver on 4 tires, trying to find his way by both of these guys, but 2 tires working out so far for Maddox and Schmitz. It's now Klink into the wall a little bit as you go on board that 31 machine down the back straightaway. He sees the 2 bumpers in front of him, wants to try and get by both of them. Down into the turn number 3, Schmitz will dive into the inside, side by side for the lead into 3. Schmitz gonna try and hold on, not able to get a clear off of 4. Max will hold on. They're gonna stay side by side through the triangle. Schmitz gonna try and pinch off the inside lane and not allow Maddox to clear down, but Maddox will clear down anyways. And now Klink tries to work to the outside of Kyle Schmitz into 1.
Now side by side still as Maddox to get really top of turn 2, but Maddox not quite clear. Big side draft there for Schmitz as Klink now working with Max, and Max now clears into turn 3.
Klink gonna go around the outside on the 4 fresh tires. Keep in mind, Rusty Rafferty, he was closing that gap before that caution came out. He's lurking behind these drivers now. Rusty Rafferty closing that gap to Kyle Schmitz and Kyle Klink as Klink and Schmitz stay side by side. But take a slow car on the apron there. He's gonna stay out on the racetrack. That won't bring out the caution. But Klink up into the wall once again, struggling with the tightness on the outside lane. Schmitz gonna shut the door off the turn number 2. Klink will cross him down to the inside as Rafferty has to avoid that move. As now side by side to the 3 once again for that 2nd place spot.
As these 2 dogfighting right now here for 2nd. Schmitz finally clears off of turn 4. Now he can set his sights now on the race lead on those two right side tires. Right now, the two right side tires looking pretty good for these top two drivers.
It's working well. Klink's just struggling. I think he could have got by Schmitz a couple laps ago, but just over driving the outside at 102, getting into the wall, and that's costing him a lot of time through the center of the corner, and that's cost him some time now. That's definitely going to hurt his tires later in the run. As Rusty Rafferty, he's a little bit faster on a longer run compared to Kyle Klink that last run, and it might become that again. We'll see how long these two tires hold on out in front. We'll see if these tires kind of even out. Maybe the two tires start to fall off a little bit more as the left sides wear even more. But so far, Klink trying to find his way back by, still over the outside lane, but Schmitz holding a few car length gap over Klink down the back straightaway.
Now looking pretty good on those two right side tires. Klink and the rest of the field on 4 fresh tires, and see who comes Klink into the bottom lane. Gotta get that clean air as well off of turn 4. Not quite alongside yet as we're reached halfway point in this one.
And now down the front straightaway into turn number 1, Kyle Schmitz and Brandon Maddox still on the two tires. I believe that was just trying to save a set of tires, maybe save half a set of tires, because some of these drivers, four stops to Eric Garrison, is he sitting back in pit? I believe he might only have 1 set left. Same with Cody Dorsey. That's why Dorsey stayed out on the racetrack. But possibly only 1 set left for both those drivers. As Eric Garrison pitted last time, last caution, I think Dorsey maybe have 2 sets. But a lot of these drivers struggling with tire sets, running low on tire sets, and he's had a lot of cautions here in this first half of the race. But so far now, Zachary Maddox working back to the inside of Derek Riley. As Zachary Maddox, he made a big pit road mistake when we had those green flag stops that were cut short and with a caution. And now Zachary Maddox, he got trapped a lap down after his big pit road entry mistake. And now he should have drive back through the field as he just got back on the lead lap with that last caution. He'll drive in front of Cole Lewis. As now Derek Riley right behind trying to find his way by Dustin Stallings. Dustin Stallings, because of that last caution, had to restart from the tail end of the field. So now he's trying to work his way back up through the field as well. So we have a lot of these drivers, a lot of comers and goers in this race. I mean, I've at least seen probably 4 or 5 cars that have been in contention for this win tonight.
Yeah, it's been pretty chaotic with the pit road issues, green flag pit stops, and just his tire strategy as well. It's going to be pretty interesting to see who's there at the ends in this one.
And also we see it seems like a few up in front, and then a few have to work their way back from maybe a mistake from the back. So it's just like we haven't really seen all 5 of them up front all battling together as of yet. But we do have probably the best 4 good ones right now between Maddox, Schmitz, Klink, and Rafferty. As Klink trying to work back to the inside of Kyle Schmitz down the back straightaway into turn number 3. As Klink he was alongside there down the back straightaway. He'll pull alongside through the middle of 3 and 4. He's going to stay side by side. We'll see those 4 tires start to come into play now.
Yeah, once these tires start to wear out, I think we're definitely going to see those 4 tires come into play throughout 11 laps into the run as Schmitz all the way to the outside wall, into the outside wall there through 1. He's going to slow down his momentum as Klink is going to clear easily for that second place spot.
Allow Klink to clear now. Klink full focus is on that 11 machine of Brendan Max. Trying to chase that 11 machine down for the race lead. Rusty Rafferty trying to find his way by Kyle Schmitz now as he's on the second driver on 4 fresh tires. He was really close with the Kyle Klink on speed later in that last run. We'll see how well he can do it this time by. Eric Garrison sitting right behind them as well, as if Kyle Schmitz and maybe Rusty Rafferty get a little bit of contact. As Garrison sitting not too far back as well. Rafferty gets diving out of the bottom and ear off of turn number 2. Not close enough to pull alongside just yet, but he is a little bit faster than Kyle Schmitz. Those 2 tires starting to give away.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, a lap ago, I think we're going to really see the difference once these tires start to wear out and these laps start to come in. Like I mentioned, we're around 12 laps since this green flag run, so I just see the difference now between these two tire strategy. It's really only like a 10th or 2 here and there, but I mean that makes a big difference here at Kansas.
Yeah, definitely make a big difference, but we've seen definitely tough to pass. We saw dirty air be a big factor. Zachary Maddox now on fresh tires. He's had that speed tonight, had a trapped a lap down. He braced his way back up into that top 8. As now Zachary Maddox, he'll clear Alex Bonsior and David Mayberry. As David Mayberry running in the top 10 right now, as Dustin Stallings will follow him through. So Dustin Stallings and Zachary Maddox working their way out through the field together, back up at the 8th and 9th positions respectively. They get about a second back though from Alex Bonsior, the next car in front of them of Alex Bonsior. As Stallings got into the wall for turn 2, that allows Mayberry back to the bottom.
Mayberry side by side for Stallings in that 9th place spot. Stallings up top. Good. He's got the momentum off of turn 4. And I think he'll clear down the front straightaway. And yes, he will. He clears back up to 9th place after that mistake through 1 and 2.
As now Eric Garrison getting passed by David Vadnais, as Vadnais is 5 laps down, as he's now actually going another lap down there, so they have to work a little bit of lap traffic, as Keith Long now has to work by that 65 machine as well. So slows it down just a little bit, loses a little bit of touch to up front. But Brendan Maddox down pit road, early pit stop for the 11 machine.
Very early pit stop. We've only been green for 15 laps. I mean, that's a very early pit stop there for that 11 machine. Wow, that's
an interesting call. He did take 2 tires there, but he only pitted twice before, so he actually has the best tire sets compared to everyone else in the field. Only him, James Taylor, and Alex Bonsier have only pitted twice, Cole Lewis as well. So those drivers have a much better advantage on tire sets if it came down to it. But an early pit stop for Maddox, interesting call. I mean, you saw Kyle Klink was really starting to charge him down with those 4 tires. So we'll see, he's going to have a pretty big undercut. Dustin Stallings as well. So they're going to have a pretty big undercut. They're going to have to make one more. Everyone's going to have to make 2 more stops that has yet to pit. So Dustin Stallings, Zachary Maddox, and Brendan Maddox, they all have to make another stop anyways.
They're still in pit lane.
Everyone else has to make 2 more stops. So, but it is pretty early into the run for that.
They might be done. I mean, they're still in pit lane for around 20-30 seconds. As here comes Cody Dorsey as well. Zachary Maddox pit stop over 40 seconds now. I didn't see him get any damage, so that's dropping to that 21 machine. Same with Stallings as well. They're still in pit lane here around after 40 seconds. And they don't have a black flag that I can tell, as Cody Dorsey on his way as well off the exit pit lane. So I'm not sure if there's
there, but Brendan Maddox, he did get back onto the racetrack after taking 4 tires, so he is back rolling. But side by side between Keith Long and Alex Bonsior, this battle for that top 5 spot now. A side by side, Bonsior on the outside, Long on the bottom. He's gonna have a little bit of dirty air in front of him from Gregory Vadnais. Bonsior able to rip the outside wall. Not able to do it, but a little bit of contact between Long and Bonsior. They were off of 2. As these two still stay side by side for that top 5 position.
As here comes Long around on the inside. He's gonna try to clear. Yes, he will. Not quite though. Off of turn 4, still side by side.
He's trying to get in front of Bonsior, but he got tight with the dirty air of Vadnais, so the lap machine kind of playing a factor a little bit with the air. He's just staying to the bottom, trying to get out of the way of these 2. And now Bonsior up on the outside, well, just a little bit looked like, actually kept it just off of it. Really good run for Bonsior. They still stay side by side between Keith Long and Alex Bonsior down at 3.
They're still side by side here for the 5th place spot. As Long on the inside, Bonsior on the outside. Bonsior, we got a good run off for turn 4. Gonna have the momentum down to the stripe. He gets a nose ahead at the stripe there, but not really in the turn 1. There's still nose to tail, or I guess bumper to bumper there, side by side.
These two still side by side. That's allowing cars behind to close up. Instead, this is the 20 machine to Jimmy Gordon, a lap machine able to get close the gap down a little bit. But Bonsior, he'll shut the door on Keith Long into turn 3. He'll make that spot clear. As now they were battling up a little bit as Dustin Stallings did come out of pit road 3 laps down. He got in front, so he got in front there. Had to work his way by Rafferty, Schmitz, and Klink. As now Klink, he's actually slowing a little bit compared to Kyle Schmitz. As Schmitz, last time by, was 2/10 faster than a race leader of Kyle Klink. Now Kyle Klink has the dirty air of Dustin Stallings. Now Schmitz is trying to pull, falling back a little bit now, but as Klink able to pull away a little bit, but it looks like that lap car there, Dustin Stallings, slid them up just a tad bit.
Yeah, Stallings with those fresh tires. He was in pit lane for a long time. Not sure if he had some issues there. It was a 54-second pit stop from him. From what I could tell, he didn't have a black flag, but that's the only thing I could think of is if he had a black flag. But from time and scoring,
I didn't see any
yeah.
black flags on ATVO, so I don't think we did not see any black flags on end. So I don't know if he just got stuck in pit where maybe a glitch or something. Not very sure what happened there, but so far pretty much even gaps between our top 3, about 6/10 between each car. Can I extend that just a little bit more to Eric Garrison a second back from Rusty Rafferty. Alex Bunshore has finally been cleared for fifth now over Keith Long. But so far, closest battle on the racetrack between Cole Lewis and David Mayberry is Mayberry in that sixth spot away. Sixth spot. Lewis now working the inside lane. It's down to the turn at number 3 and 4. Lewis on the bottom. Mayberry side by side still. The battle for sixth. As Lewis has the spot, has the nose a little bit. This battle is going to allow Derek Riley and Derek Riley close in. As Derek Riley has one of the 33 and Dan Barone also right behind as well. That's Eric Garrison. He'll come down from pit. He'll come down pit road from that fourth place spot. Nice. Eric Garrison now coming off pit road as now Cole Lewis will take that spot away. As Brendan Maddox, he's about 8 seconds ahead of Eric Garrison, so that tells you how much of an undercut that mattered. As Brendan Maddox will have to make one extra stop regardless. And everyone else still has to make 2 stops. They can only go about 10 more laps on fuel, so that can go to about 50 to go. So they're going to be about 10 laps short of making it. I mean, we can see if anyone can try and save a little bit of fuel, but they have to be running the bottom, staying in 5th gear, not shifting. We'll see how well some of these drivers can save. They can stretch it to about 115. It could be close. I don't know if they can really save that much fuel, but we'll see how late these drivers up front will stay out. Kyle Schmitz, he's been closing this gap a little bit. Been taking care of those tires, even though he's on 2 tires. He's kind of staying even with Kyle Klink right now. Klink is really starting to struggle a little bit later in this run. Kind of we saw that last run. He wasn't very slow, but he wasn't the fastest. He was just a little bit slower than the cars behind him, but enough to hold on for a decent bit. But Schmitz down to about 4/10 of a second right now. Rusty Rafferty about 8/10 of a second. Rafferty was about 200 faster than Kyle Klink last time by, and Schmitz was about 300 faster than Klink. Schmitz actually just got tagged the wall off of turn 2 there. See, a lot of these drivers will struggle a little bit, but now back to the battle here between Derek Riley and David Mayberry. David Mayberry right in front of him for that 7th place spot. Derek Riley trying to find his way by. This is the closest battle on the racetrack. Now Brendan Maddox and Dan Barone side by side. That is a battle for position. As Brendan Maddox now will take the free pass spot if there was a caution to come out, as he is right behind Derek Riley. So he's about 7 seconds back from the leader. So just about a lap and a quarter behind for Brendan Maddox. So Brendan Maddox has gained about a quarter of a lap. So right now he's probably going to be about 8 seconds in front of the rest of the field once they pit. As Eric Garrison, he pitted for 4 tires. He's still only about 9 seconds back from Dan Barone. So he's not gaining any time on Brendan Maddox right now. So Eric Garrison really struggling with that, but Brendan Maddox trying to cut his way through the lead lap traffic now. As now here, he's also going to cut through a few lap cars as well. Jimmy Gordon being one of those. He gets by David Mayberry. We'll see how much longer these leaders can go, as this time by will be within probably 5 or 10 laps of them pitting. So much longer they can go. But this time by will be 35 laps into the run, at least since they pitted. So probably about 33 laps on green flag.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what their strategy calls are here. There's James Taylor in pit lane right now. But Kyle Schmidt's closing the gap now here on Kyle Klink, the 2 Kyles. In the meantime, gonna duke it out here for the lead in the moment.
These two have been very even in about, maybe they're kind of just trading about a 10th per lap on each other. Last time by, Klink with a 30.933, Schmitz with a 30.919, so just a few hundredths faster. But again, gets pushed into the 1 and 2, gets tight and grabs the wall. Actually made a big mistake there, lost a lot of time, lost at about 2/10. As now Rafferty closing that gap in, not enough to close to make a move, but that did cost him a good bit of time there. But now Kyle Schmitz and Kyle Klink, they'll come down pit road.
Both of the front runners down pit lane. Rusty Rafferty gonna stay out a little bit longer. As clean pit road entry for those two drivers as well.
So they go 17 laps longer than Brendan Maddox, as Brendan Maddox was on 2 tires originally. He came down pit road and took 4. So he has more sets of these drivers already. We'll see where will Brendan Maddox cycle out in front of Kyle Schmitz and Kyle Klink. Rusty Rafferty still out on the racetrack. He'll stay out once again, so he's going to try and stay out a little bit longer. But where does Brendan Maddox, where does he cycle out here? He's now off of turn number 4. Kyle Schmitz and Kyle Klink still in their pit stalls, as Klink is now rolling. Schmitz is still in his stall as he now gets out and puts the power down. But they exit pit road. They hit the pit road line right when Maddox is in 1 and 2. So Maddox is going to be pretty far out in front of these drivers, as Klink is going to be still right behind him for position. But he's losing time, trying to get back up to speed. About 6 seconds back. It'll look like it might even out about 8 seconds, maybe 7.5 seconds back, as they do have a 19 lap tire advantage over Brendan Maddox. So we'll see how that works out. But all these drivers still have to make one more pit stop left in this one.
Yeah, one more stop left with 51 laps to go here on lap 110.
And we'll see if anyone can stretch it a little bit longer compared to some of these drivers. Don't think they can make it on a one stop. It'd be way too much of a stretch to do that. But Dakota Bly, he's normally one to save fuel. Not sure how well he is, but how well he's been saving fuel so far. If he has been saving.
Yep, off the gas, turn off the fuel. Wow.
So Dakota Bly on the clutch, as he cannot turn off this car, the next gen, so right now. So it's kind of bugged a little bit unless you're under pace speed. So Dakota Bly having to go back to the OG way of clutching. Trying to cheat the another way of clutching there. But Dakota Bly is saving. Though. So see how much Dakota Bly can do it. Maybe you can make it a little bit slower, a little bit longer here. We'll see, he's got to stretch it to at least 45 to go, at least to have a chance. And then he has to save again. But he's already about 9 seconds back. He's only 15 seconds ahead of Brendan Maddox, so he can't give up too much time. As he's only going to be even losing more time to Kyle Klink, as Kyle Klink now within 5.5 seconds of Brendan Maddox. As Rusty Rafferty, he'll come down pit road. Keith Law coming off of pit road now. Actually, he'll come down pit road as well. Cole Lewis, Derek Riley, as everyone else going to flood down pit road. Dakota Bly staying on the racetrack for now. We'll keep an eye on his fuel number and see how much longer he can go. Don't expect him to go too much longer, but all the leaders coming down pit road. Dakota Bly will cycle to the race lead. Brendan Maddox will be our net race leader right now. He's about 4.8 seconds over Kyle Klink. We'll see where Rusty Rafferty will cycle, because Rusty Rafferty was behind Kyle Schmitz and Kyle Klink when the pit stops happened. But he stayed out a little bit longer, so we'll see where Rusty Rafferty, where he cycle is. He's going to be about, he's about 5 lap pressure tires compared to the two Kyles of Kyle Klink and Kyle Schmitz. So there's Kyle Klink right there, and there's Rusty Rafferty coming off pit road. So he's going to have about 4 lap pressure tires. We'll see how much faster he can be. But Kyle Schmitz currently sitting net third right now, as Dakota Bly, he'll come down pit road on a lap with 48 laps to go. So I don't think it's going to be enough. So he's going to have to make one extra stop. So everyone comes down pit road. They'll have one more green flag pit stop left to go here. But Brendan Maddox holds the spot about 3.8 seconds over Kyle Klink. How much longer will go? Because he's already been out for 25 laps. He can make it to the end in about 7 to 10 laps. He's got to at least go, I think probably at least safely, you got to go at least go to about 35 to go. For Brendan Maddox, he wants to make it to the finish.
Yeah, most
likely.
We'll see
if he can stay out in front of Kyle Klink before pit stops. So if he comes down pit road right when Kyle Klink is right behind him, this could work out for Brendan Maddox. We'll see how that plays out. Right now, Kyle Klink is about 4/10 faster than Brendan Maddox, our race leader. But we'll see. That's only going to even out longer we get into this run. But Kyle Klink was a much better on pit road compared to Kyle Schmitz. He's 2.5 seconds ahead of Kyle Schmitz right now. Rusty Rafferty about 9 seconds back. Rusty Rafferty, much fresher tires, so 6-lap fresher tires compared to our race leaders. Well, Kyle Klink, Kyle Schmitz. So we'll see if he's faster at all. He has been a little bit slower. Last time I was actually at 31.4, so Rusty Rafferty not very quick right now. Maybe making a little bit too many mistakes. Don't know. Let's see if he picks up the pace here, but he's got a lot of ground to gain. But Kyle Klink now within 3 seconds. It's only about 2/10 faster the last time by. We'll see if he can get there. If he can get there within about 35 laps, you expect him to win this race. If he can get within Brendan Maddox within 35 laps, Brendan Maddox would be in a very good spot. If Klink can't catch him with about 20 to go, but Maddox will definitely pit before then. As Maddox will have to make one more stop, as long with everybody else. So we're going to see one more cycle of green flag stops.
We saw aggressive.
This might work out for Brendan Maddox, as the tires are really starting to even out right now.
And we saw aggressive people were during those green flag pit stops. The first one, I mean, this last one, no look like anyone got penalty there. I think they kind of learned from number 6 in the first one, but with the race on the line, there might be some more aggression down in the pit lane, which could cause some incidents or some penalties as well.
Just so you know, Rusty Rafferty used 6 laps fresher tires, and he is still not even running in the 30s. As there is a 30.4 right there, so he's very slow working through the field. That cost him a lot of time. So Rusty Rafferty not looking great on this run right now. He's still holding. He's now picked up the pace. He was 4/10 faster, but he already lost about 1.5 seconds from just running 31-second lap times the last few laps. So it didn't look like he was saving at all there, but not sure. Just been a little bit slower. But so far, Brendan Maddox still holds the lead by about 2.5 seconds, and the times have even out.
Yeah, I think some drivers there at the end might take right sides only, and that might be a good call, possibly, that we might see as well. Especially those drivers that pit a little later. Like, for example, Kyle Klink or Kyle Schmitz could take right sides only. Or even Rusty Rafferty, he went pretty long on his green flag run, so could see maybe him take right sides only, try to make up some time as well on pit lane.
And we'll see, but right now, feeling a little spread out through the field as everyone's getting settled in as the green flag pit stops is really strong out the field. As now we're within 39 laps to go. As Kyle Klink able to pick the pace back up, and now he's a little bit faster than Brendan Maddox. But now with 39 laps to go, while we have the moment, we're going to take this moment. We're going to do a little bit of element to crank it up here from Kansas. Welcome back here from our Crank It Up segment as Brandon Maddox during that segment there came down pit road. He came down pit road from the race lead. He did not get caught by Kyle Klink there first, so this could be a really good, this could be shaping up very good for Brandon Maddox. Brandon Maddox, he came down pit road. He did take 4 fresh tires, so we'll see how much longer all these drivers out in front stay out for. But Klink leads by about 0.8 of a second over Kyle Schmitz. Schmitz just closed the gap down a little bit over the last few laps. But all right, now back from our segment. If you like this racing so far tonight, you want to join up on it, make sure to check out the Undisputed Cup Series on Facebook if you want to, and join the Discord from there if you want to join the Undisputed Cup Series. And also make sure to support the Undisputed Cup Series with their affiliate links in the description for Smack and Sunflower Seeds, and also StubHub, purchasing your Sunflower Seeds and StubHub tickets from StubHub. Also, if you want to join the Legends Racing Network Discord, brand new Discord, also link in the description as well. Have an event coming up next Sunday for the Brickyard Bash Street Stocks at Indianapolis. So we have that event coming up for the Legends Racing Network coming up in a few, just about a week and a half as well. But now, as get off of those little ad reads there, but Kyle Klink and Kyle Schmitz will both come down pit road from first and second, so not a big overcut over Brendan Maddox, but maybe about 5 to 6 laps. We'll see. We'll see how this works out.
Drivers might take right sides only. They might take right sides only here. I would definitely. I mean, if I was the crew chief, that's what I would do. To be honest, I mean, it looks like they're taking 4. I mean, I've seen multiple times right sides have been really useful. Gains you a lot of time as well. Yep, looks like that's what Schmitz did. Schmitz
will take 2. Bonsignor, well, sorry, not Bonsignor, but Maddox will clear out in front by a good bit. Klink will be behind. But 2 tires, it didn't look like a too much of a time loss for Kyle Schmitz. Kyle Klink. So 2.5 seconds back from Kyle Schmitz. We'll see how well he can close that gap in.
Yeah, Schmitz only has 2 right side tires. Max has 4 fresh tires and he's still ahead by about 5 seconds. I just don't know if he'll be able to gain that amount of time in 28 laps.
I wonder if Schmitz kind of ran out of tires because he took 2 earlier. I think he maybe had only a few sets left, so I wonder if we do get a caution that could shake up a lot of the strategy. Maybe some of these drivers don't have enough sets left. We'll see how it works out. Rusty Rafferty, he's going to go longer again, but he's back to slower again. He's not been very fast in this run since that green flag stop, just been struggling since. He's got Kyle Klink and Keith Long right behind him already. Brendan Maddox, he's out in front of Kyle Schmitz by 4 seconds, 6 seconds in front of Kyle Klink. As all those drivers, they are good to the finish, but only about 5 lap of a difference on tires. Kyle Klink and Kyle Schmitz have probably gone a little bit longer. Especially if you're a little bit lower on sets compared to Brendan Maddox as a race leader. We'll see how this plays out between those 3 drivers. We'll also see Rusty Rafferty where he will shake up, as now he actually just got passed by Keith Long there. So 26 laps to go now, 25 laps to go here from Kansas. We see all these strategies start to come out into one. And we'll see who can get the win, but Kyle Klink got in the wall a little bit, just out in front of Keith Long. That's also a lot of time. He's actually now 3 seconds behind Kyle Schmitz. As Kyle Schmitz, he's been gaining time now. He's now 3 seconds back from Brendan Maddox. He's 0.6 of a second faster the last time by.
Yeah, Max just hasn't been getting through his lap traffic as good possibly there, which is very surprising. I know that it's only 5 lap fresher tires, but I mean, 0.6 is a big difference right there.
And last week, Brendan Maddox, he waited longer and took 2 tires, and he was on the wrong side of the strategy last week. This week, he's looking to be on the correct side. We'll see if it works out. Right now, 3 seconds is the gap to Kyle Schmitz. Last time by, it was about a 0.4 of a second difference. We'll see this time by, there's about 0.2 of a second difference between Maddox and Schmitz. We'll see how well it closes up. Maddox is now closing the gap to Dakota Blythe. That's going to be about for position throughout the second and a half. That's the gap for those 2. As Scott Kerber comes down pit road, the next driver to come down. So far, Keith Long staying out of the racetrack, same with Rusty Rafferty. They're not going to be able to make it to the finish. They're going to be about 10 laps short.
Yeah, just probably
Maybe.
hoping for a caution at this point.
Yeah, try and gamble for a caution.
We have had 5 so far tonight. The last one was lap 70. Around 70 laps to go.
So far, Keith Long holds the lead. He stays out in front of this Rusty Rafferty. He's fallen about 3 seconds. I don't know what Rusty Rafferty has been doing, but he has been really slowing up his pace. He's only been running 31s pretty much this entire last run. He stayed out as long as he could. I wonder if he's trying to save fuel, but he's not clutching it. He's not turning off the car. He's just kind of really just backing off the pace a lot. He ran 31.5s pretty much for the first 4 laps, 5 laps. He was out on the racetrack. Then he ran back into the mid to high 30s, and now he's back into the mid 31s. So I wonder if Rusty Rafferty's trying to save enough fuel, but he's just not really saving a lot this far, this slow. He's also he does have a really big gap. He was probably the best driver to try it. As Dakota Bly, he was trying it earlier, but he also lost a lot of time already, and now Brendan Maddox will go by Dakota Bly for that spot. We'll see Rusty Rafferty, if all this backing off the pace, can he save enough fuel? He still has to he has to save about 10 laps of fuel. Maybe it might be a little bit less, depending on how he was running the bottom, how much he backed it off. It could have been around 43 laps on fuel. But at least he still probably has to save about 3 to 4 laps on fuel, and that's a lot to ask for, especially here in Kansas when you're in the throttle so much. Oh, we got a car spinning on the apron in turn 1 and 2. It's Zachary Maddox on the apron in 1 and 2, spun around off pit exit, does not bring out the caution, but he is spun around. He gets it back rolling, spun on pit exit. Luckily, he kept it on the apron, did not bring out the caution there.
Just cold tires there. And I'm sure his brother Brendan Maddox would not be happy about that one.
Luckily, Zachary Maddox was able to get back going. Now he joins his brother Brendan Maddox, holding him up just a tad bit. As off of turn number 4, Maddox clears Maddox. As Brendan Maddox up to 3rd as he got by the line not too long ago. But Zachary Maddox spinning down to the grass again.
Hit
the inside wall. That's going to take his left front out.
And this could still be a caution.
He already took his fast here. That will be his night over. Not to tow it, but he's on the apron. He's out of the way. No caution.
Still does not reset, though.
He's still rolling on the apron. Right now, Brendan Maddox, he is still in 3rd. He has a 1.3 second gap to Kyle Schmitz, but Zachary Maddox still rolling on the apron.
I don't know if that's the right call there.
Just get it out of the track. Do not cause a caution here.
Yeah, your race is over no matter what. You can't stop right here because this would cause a caution right now, most likely.
I would expect if he did wait that long and then bring out a caution, I would not be surprised if he did get a post-race penalty as well, if something like that happened. But Zachary Maddox just trying to limp it back. So far, we stay green. If we don't have a caution, we'll keep an eye on him, see if he brings out the caution. Right now, Brendan Maddox, his brother, sitting in the net race lead as Rusty Rafferty about 10 seconds ahead. He's been backing off a lot this entire run.
Very slow these last few laps. Yeah, he's half throttled down the straightaway.
I think he's trying to save the fuel. He's trying to save the fuel. I don't know, it's about 9.3 seconds, but the gap between Maddox and Kyle Schmitz is about 1.2 seconds. Kyle Schmitz on 2 tires, and about a 6 lap advantage as well, has been closing the gap down throughout this run. The gap's about to 1.1. Kyle Klink on 4 tires with the same advantage is even farther back. He's not even been gaining time on Kyle Schmitz. So Kyle Klink on 4 tires, struggling to even gain time on the 4 tires. So the 2 tires working well for Kyle Schmitz. It's going to be between him and Brendan Maddox for this race win, most likely. We'll see if Rusty Rafferty, can he hold off enough? He's really backed it off. Last time I heard a 33.6. He is 5 seconds, only 6 seconds back now in front of Brendan Maddox. I think he's really way too slow, and I think he has not saved enough fuel. He's not even gonna, I don't think he's gonna hold on for 6 more seconds. He's gotta make it another 13 laps if he wants to save it on fuel. And by the way, he's been saving and been backing up by multiple seconds a lap. I don't think he can do it.
Yeah, I mean, he's still going very slow, almost 3 seconds slower than Maddox last time by. He's going to get caught next lap if he keeps up at this pace. Maybe he's not looking for the race win. Maybe he's looking for a top 5 finish, possibly. So, I mean, if that's the case, then I guess it doesn't matter. But he has to start picking up his pace right now if he wants this race win.
And so far, Rusty Rafferty, he now picked up the pace a little bit more.
But even so, I think Max will still catch him just without the tire advantage he has. With 12 laps to go.
We'll see how that plays out, but right now it's only about 1.5 seconds over Brendan Maddox. Brendan Maddox and Kyle Schmitz, that gap slowly coming down. Schmitz ran slower last time by, but the gap is now 9.5 tenths. Maddox is going to have to work his way by Rafferty as well, as that gap will no doubt be swallowed up. So Rusty Rafferty trying to save the fuel. He won't win this race. He's losing way too much time, and now here comes Brendan Maddox on the fresh tires, pitted 37 laps ago. Oh, sorry, 24 laps ago. Now side by side with Maddox. Rusty Rafferty, he's gonna make contact. Brendan Maddox goes around. He collects Rusty Rafferty, and he might collect Kyle Schmitz. Kyle Schmitz, amazing avoidance there, but that will bring up the caution with 10 to go.
Wow. And both of those drivers, actually Rusty Rafferty has used his fast spare, Brendan Maddox has not, and that seemed very unnecessary there.
Look, I mean, it looked like Maddox tried to pin him down a little bit. Rafferty came up the bottom, and I feel like they kind of just met in the middle a little bit. Maddox, if I was Maddox, I probably would have just gave him a little bit more space.
Yeah, he can't. Yeah, I think Maddox allowed him there. Just unfortunate for both those drivers. I mean, I think Max could have easily cleared on the top side. Didn't have to crowd him so much.
Let's go on board with Kyle Schmitz there, because he saw that very quick reaction. Great avoidance by Kyle Schmitz. Rusty Rafferty was right in front of him, and he had to quickly make a quick avoidance there to avoid Rusty Rafferty. Here's Kyle Schmitz on board with him. He sees the car spinning in front of him. Rafferty gets tagged. Rafferty gets tagged. He has to dive low at the last second. But one driver that helps big time, Keith Long, stayed out, and now he will no doubt be the race leader. He'll cycle to lead. Yeah, really good, really lucky for Keith Long.
Actually, no.
We'll see how much longer he can make it. Kyle Schmitz will stay on the racetrack.
Yeah, maybe not enough tire sets. He's only pit. He's pit 5 times, but he could be out of tire sets. But
I believe that's all he had. I mean, I don't think he has any right tire sets. It just makes sense there.
The right sides, most likely. As he did take 2 last time.
He needs it.
But I mean, there's no reason to pit for left side tires. Kyle Klink also stays out as well. Everyone else comes on pit lane, but I feel like it was very unnecessary for Brendan Maddox to pinch down Rusty Rafferty that much. I mean, if I'm being honest, he could have easily cleared on the top side. And if we stayed green, he was pretty much cruising to a win there. Now he's going to slot himself in 5th place. So there's a chance of that win, but could be a little bit more exciting, I guess you could say here.
I mean, he had to work his way from the back of the field multiple times tonight. He is no stranger to that, but now he has much less time to do so. He's actually still only lining up 5th, so he actually didn't lose that much time. Currently on my scoring, he actually now jumps up to 4th, so I don't know. We'll see. I think Brendan Maddox may get a little bit lucky with that one. He may be right in the battle, but it's going to be between Kyle Schmitz, Kyle Klink, and Brendan Maddox. Still came down pit road from that. He's going to be right behind Keith Long. We see a lot of these drivers stay out and take the wave around as Jimmy Gordon, Alex Bonsignor, Derek Riley, Dan Barone, Scott Kerber, they will all take the wave around. Rusty Rafferty coming off pit road. He's stuck behind the pace car, I believe, so that he might actually lose a lap here. I don't think he beat the pace car off pit road. but Kyle Schmitz will be the race leader. Kyle Klink will line back up in second as those drivers stayed out on the racetrack. Brendan Maddox will line back up in fourth. Keith Long will line back up in third. Brendan Maddox in fourth. Those two on 4 fresh tires. Dakota Bly right there in fifth as well. Eric Garrison lines back up in sixth. He's a little bit farther back in the pack now, actually. He's also stayed out. And Rusty Rafferty, he'll restart in seventh, farther back in the pack on fresh tires. But we'll see how this plays out. Chaos will probably ensue. But a late race caution will bring us to this late race restart. Green flag back in the air. 6 laps to go here from Kansas. Schmitz with a great start. Keith Long up in second now with a great restart from the inside lane. Kyle Klink, not a great restart. And Brendan Maddox as well on the outside lane. Now they're going to try and single file back out and chase each other down. But Kyle Schmitz on the older tires. Our race leader over Keith Long down to the turn number 3.
Keith Long started from second to last, pretty much last on the grid here tonight. Now he has a chance to win this race. Here comes Brendan Maddox as well. He's on fresh tires here, and it's going to be a 4-car battle here for 5 laps to go here at Kansas.
5 to go. Keith Long, he has a win this season in Auto Club, and he won Auto Club kind of like a similar strategy. He got a late race caution, was able to stay out. The other drivers made mistakes, and he was able to take advantage.
Here
Kyle Schmitz into the wall for 2. Long's going to go to the bottom. Keith Long into 3 and 4. He's going to take the lead with 5 to go. Brendan Maddox going to follow him through with the other driver on fresh tires.
He's going to try to screw away here with coming to 4 laps to go this time by. It's going to be him and Maddox duking out for the win here at Kansas.
There's calamity through the mid-pack behind with a mix of lap-down drivers and lead lap drivers fighting for the top 10. But Long holds the lead for now. 0.3 of a second over Brendan Maddox. Maddox in the wall off 2, and that's going to allow Long to pull away even more.
Long now has a half a second lead over Maddox here. From the 3 laps to go, he just has to have 6 more corners here. 6 more turns of perfection here.
Kyle Klink holds on over Kyle Schmitz. That battle for third heating up as Dakota Bly trying to find his way through a little bit on the older tires, on the newer tires as well. But so far that battle for third holds on. The gap for the race lead extending for Keith Long. But right now, down the back straightaway, Kyle Schmitz trying to work back to the bottom of Kyle Klink. Cole Lewis trying to find his way through. He's a lap down. But Kyle Schmitz down to the bottom. Side by side with Kyle Klink. Off of turn number 4. Schmitz will clear Klink. Not enough. As Klink holds the outside lane, but the shorter distance on the apron might allow Schmitz to clear. Not going to do that. They stay side by side for the third place spot with 2 to go.
That's still side by side for third as Schmitz clears for third place. As here comes Dakota Bly to the bottom of Klink. Has Max on the outside wall. Once again, Max very loose. This battle for third is going to turn in second. Here comes Schmitz to the outside. He takes second place.
Big mistake from Maddox into the 1 and 2. That allows Kyle Schmitz to take second. Off of 4. They're side by side for third between Bly and Maddox. As now Maddox will be side by side with Klink. They take the white flag. Long will have 2 seconds. No mistakes, and he's got it. But right now they're side by side for 4th as the other one.
He slid right in front of Klink as Klink back exit off for turn 2. Maddox now clear pretty good for 4th right now. That one front. Keith Long through 3.
Keith Long, season opener. He had he was one of the faster drivers. Had made advantages from the other drivers' mistakes. Off of 4, he was going to win a Kansas and pick up just his second win of the season in similar fashion to the season opener. Big crash behind him, Dakota Bly. Brendan Maddox, big wreck off of turn number 4. He'll cross 4th. But Keith Long, our race winner, similar fashion, just he did at Auto Club. Had a different strategy, took tires late at Auto Club, took advantage of the other drivers' mistakes in front of him, and he did the same tonight. Brendan Maddox, Kyle Schmitz making crucial mistakes in front of Keith Long. He takes advantage, and Keith Long will take his 2nd win of the season tonight here at Kansas.
What
in a chaotic
race.
Dash to the finish.
What a race that was. And a dash for cash as well.
That was shaken up as well. We kind of lost track of that during all of that chaos. It was Vadney as well, so Gordon and James Taylor were the fastest driver. Were the drivers battling for the dash for cash. And all those drivers finished outside the top 10. That will go to James Taylor, as James Taylor finishing 12th tonight. He will take that Dash for Cash prize.
What a chaotic race that was, man. Wow.
A late race caution paying off for Keith Long once again, as he will burn it down. As he's already celebrating. He's definitely going to celebrate this one. Right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here from Kansas.
Hey guys, this is Kevin from KK Woodscapes, and we just wanted to say how excited we are to be sponsoring the Undisputed Cup Series this season for the championship trophy. And also, we are looking forward to working with you guys. Hopefully, we can bring your virtual victories into reality this season. And you can reach out to me on Discord, or you can scan the QR code below, and it'll take you to our Instagram page where you can see all the work we've done over the years. Thank you guys, and good luck this season.
Welcome back here to Kansas, as we just wrapped up the race, the penultimate race of the regular season for the Undisputed Cup Series. We saw Keith Long take his second win of the season. Before we get to our top 3 interviews, let's take a quick look at tonight's results for tonight's Maddox Graphics 240, as Keith Long able to capitalize on the mistakes made by Brendan Maddox and Kyle Schmitz right at the very end, as Keith Long will take the win by 2 seconds over Kyle Schmitz. Dakota Bly will pick up 3rd. Brendan Maddox able to round out 4th tonight. Kyle Clank rounds out the top 5. Eric Garrison will finish 6th tonight. Alex Bonsior finishing 7th. Derek Riley finishing 8th. Rusty Rafferty finishing 9th. And Cole Lewis rounding out the top 10, as finishing 11th tonight. The 29 of David Mayberry and James Taylor in the 35 machine, finishing 12th tonight. He will win the final Dash for Cash of the season. Scott Kerber will finish 13th. Dan Barone will finish 14th. Cody Dorsey in 15th. Dustin Stallings 16th. Jimmy Gordon 17th. David Wells 18th. Gregory Vadendays in 19th. And Zachary Maddox rounds out the top 20. 21st of Evan Patenko. 22nd, Jason Bottoms. 23rd, Brian Sandrith. Kerry Conaway finishing 24th. And running our 25-car field tonight will be the 3 of Brandon Newton. But out in front, it was our race winner, Keith W. Long, able to get the race win, just like similar fashion compared to Auto Club. A late race caution, you took advantage of the strategy and took advantage of the mistakes there. How are you able to get it done and win here tonight at Kansas?
Other than my cat, man, I was lucky. I was sweating it there. I only had two laps of fuel left when that caution came out, so I was definitely looking to pit. Wasn't sure where that was going to end me up, so I saw guys starting to filter in because I knew everyone else needed fuel, so I just let it ride and was hoping for that late caution, and sure enough it came, and that really was the only way I think I stole that race. I had a fast car, but if I didn't get that caution, I think there was a couple guys there that had the fuel to make it the whole way.
Yeah, and you got that caution right at that perfect time. Only had a few laps of fuel there, but just kind of talk us through. You're running around that top 10 all night long. Just kind of how did that plan and that strategy kind of come to fruition there? Just trying to stay out as long as you can.
Man, long run, open track. I was looking for some long runs tonight, so I really loosened the car up as best as I could. Really just kind of rolled turn 1, I think, was the key to getting me faster laps there at the end of the runs. I didn't wear my tires out, I don't think, by rolling 1 early, dropping off the gas early, rolling it through. Turn 3 and 4, man, was sticking all night. I mean, if long as you got it down on the inside, it wasn't going nowhere. You could ride it. 1 and 2 was tough. You had to get down early in 1. There was speed on the outside, but if your tires kind of got hot, it was always scared to hit that wall and take that little bit of damage that would put you in, take you down a couple seconds on your runs.
Yeah, but you're able to play the right strategy, able to take advantage of that late race caution and get the win. But before we send you off on your way, any sponsor to thank for tonight's race win?
Thanks to Undisputed Cup Series. Thanks to you guys for putting on the show, man. Glad to be back in the winner's circle, man. It was a long stint, so some rough mid-season. Hopefully I can get hot here and finish strong.
All right, once again, congrats on the race win, and we'll see you next week at Daytona.
Thanks, man. See you guys.
So that was our race winner of Keith Long. We'll bring in our second place finisher of Kyle Schmitz. Kyle Schmitz had to work his way up through the field. That long green flag run there coming up to the finish. Took 2 tires there. Had to chase down Brendan Maddox, but just kind of talk us through that run there and just that pit strategy right when before that late race caution happened.
That pit strategy was all based on my failure of a pit strategy earlier in the race. I took tires at lap 21. I thought it said 31 on my screen. Came down, and then I realized I'd done messed up. And from there, it was just recovery. I had a little incident with somebody else slid through the grass, was 22nd, 23rd, and then from there, I was just literally driving as hard as I could to try to make up. After that, I tried 2 tires once, and it seemed pretty good. I literally could not tell the difference between 2 and 4. So I knew that last stop was going to have to be a 2 to make up a bunch of time, because I do think I was 10, 11, 12 seconds back is what it seemed like anyways. But just kept my head down, kept driving as hard as I could, and got it to P2, which was nice.
You had that late race caution there. You decided to stay out on the older tires, but you made that really big mistake off of turn 2 there. Just kind of talk us through that last restart. What was going through your head and what was going through your strategy there?
I took no tires because I had no tires. That early pit stop, I took tires there. I took 4 the second stop, and then 2, 4, and then 2, so I had nothing on the right, so I just stuck it out there. I didn't know what Keith's strategy was. My HUD was not updating if he pitted or not, so I was sitting in P2 coming to the green, even though he wasn't in front of me, so I had no idea what he was doing. But yeah, I had no tires. And then I really felt comfortable with my car not having tires anyways, and then I flat out just really messed up, hit the wall about as hard as you could without destroying your car, and from there on my wheel was 90 degrees to the left trying to drive down the straightaway, and I just held on. I don't know what happened to the other 2 if they were having car issues, but I got back around 2 of them and then back up to second. I really wish I didn't hit the wall though. I was pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, but even with that wheel damage, you're still able to pick up a very respectable second place finish tonight. You do have 1 win on the season already from Indy, and you still back it up with a good, solid second place finish, a good momentum going in to the regular season finale next week. But before we sign off on the way, any sponsor to thank for tonight's second place run?
Yeah, Spare Parts Gaming Community. Check us out. Also, Track IR. It's head tracking stuff for iRacing and everything like that. And yeah, thanks to you also for streaming. Thanks to Undisputed Cup. This is really fun.
Once again, congrats on your second place finish. We'll see you next week at Daytona.
Cool. Thanks, Aaron. Have a good one.
So as our second place finisher of Kyle Schmitz, we'll bring in our third place finisher of Dakota Bly. We saw you earlier trying to save a little bit fuel, trying to make that final stint into the 1 stop, but didn't happen there. But just kind of talk us through that final run and how you're able to make trying to play out for the late race caution there.
Yeah, so I knew the pace wasn't very strong from me tonight, and so my only real strategy was to try to save as much fuel as possible. Truthfully, I was like 5 laps short, so I really needed that caution for it to work out. But then on that last restart, I just kind of gave it all I had, tried to get as much position as I could, and it was a nice net gain. I was running about 15th most of the race.
Yeah, but you're able to take advantage of that final green white checkered there. Just kind of talk us through that final green white checkered. How are you able to cut your way up into the field there and get that top 3?
So I knew the 31 and the 19, they were on old tires. I think everybody else around me was on new tires. I really didn't have much pace, but I just tried to just really push and hope, something happened with people getting together. I think the 19 got into the wall. So did the 11 and the 31. I think they had something going on as well. So I just kind of shot that gap and tried to just really push for that 19, but wasn't fast enough for him. Just barely held off that 11. I threw a block there just to try and make sure I got a third out of the night.
And you're still able to pick up a very solid third place run after your up and down race tonight. But before sending off on the way, any sponsored link for tonight's third place run?
Well, of course, I want to thank Quantum being my primary sponsor and the league sponsor. They put a lot of love into our group, and then additionally, our league sponsors of Burlington Cafe, KK Woodscapes, our newest sponsor, Smackin'. We had Cody run a Smackin' car tonight to kind of celebrate that new partnership. So I appreciate all those guys coming on board. And then, Okaya, Recyclable Records, my guys that are usually on my car every week. I appreciate all of them for all the love they've shown me.
And once again, congrats on your third place run. We'll see you next week at Daytona.
All right. Thanks for a great podcast, guys.
And once again, that was our third place finisher of Dakota Bly, and that's going to make some. We'll see how the points shake up, but definitely going to make a few shakeups there. Right coming into the regular season finale next week at Daytona. Keith Long with a good run like he was hoping for. Able to gain a little bit of points back on a few, maybe get a better seeding into the regular season, into the playoffs. And also, but Cody Dorsey. 5 points back. He was 5 points ahead of Kyle Schmitz, and Cody Dorsey not having the run he needed tonight. And so Kyle Schmitz will no doubt take the points lead going into the regular season finale next week at Daytona. So a lot of storylines going into next week.
Yeah, definitely Super Speedway racing, and it's gonna be pretty hectic, and be interesting to see how these drivers race. It's gonna be the first Super Speedway we've had in pretty much a season. I mean, you had Atlanta, I guess, in there, but it was a lot different than Daytona, I would say, definitely.
Yeah, for sure, Tyler. We mattered a lot more at Atlanta. We also saw it's kind of like a mile and a half, but now we're gonna our first proper super speedway at Daytona next week for the regular season finale, and and it'll lead us into our 6th race playoffs. So definitely a fun playoff run to the playoffs, and a fun playoffs coming up next week at Daytona. But before we get there, coming up next year on the Legends Racing Network, tomorrow night we'll have the NAR Cup Series at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. They'll be going to Kansas, and so on Sunday morning we'll have the Bonfire Racing League at 9:50 a.m. Eastern Time. They'll be going to Dover, and on Tuesday night we'll have the Legends Racing League Gen 4 Series at Auto Club 8 p.m. Eastern Time. On Wednesday night we'll have the Superstar Art Cup at Homestead for their Chase Race number 4 at Homestead 8:15 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday night. And next week we'll have the Undisputed Cup Series for their regular season finale at Daytona at 8:50 p.m. Eastern Time. And also next Sunday as well we'll have the Legends Racing Network the first annual Brickyard Bash for Street Stocks at Indianapolis. So if you want to get interested, if you're interested in that, join the Discord in the description, and as well also support all the Undisputed Cup Series sponsors as well down in the description as well. So definitely a fun strategy-filled race here from Kansas. Came down to the wire, and Keith Long able to get the race win for tonight's Maddox Graphics 240. But so long here from Kansas, I'm Aaron Brown, joined alongside my co-commentator and producer of Talent Drake tonight. So long here from Kansas. We'll see you next time here on the Legends Racing Network.